goal isn't to live forever. The goal is to create something that will.
Welcome to Perspective, a podcast for wedding creatives where we sit down often with a special guest and talk about our many years of experience in the wedding industry so that you can learn from us and grow your wedding business, hopefully. And who are we? Well, I'm Simon, and this is the Gregster. Together, we are Cinemate Films. Two Scottish-based wedding filmmakers who love nothing more than drinking coffee and talking shop with others in the industry. This episode is of course sponsored with Jack, but I will get onto that later in the show. Again, I butchered the intro. But Greg, who are we talking to this day?
We are talking to Chellise and Mike. Hello, how are you?
Hello.
Hello.
Doing swell. Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
and good. Extra special thank you for putting in that extra effort to sort the sound in the background. So yes, thank you for that.
No, thank you for having us. This is a real honor. We've had some crazy badasses on the show, and you guys conduct a great interview.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, we have. We do pick some good guests, don't we, Greg?
Yep.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Are you guys comfortable? Have you got yourself a drink? That's one thing we didn't ask.
Yeah, I got some water.
We're drinking. We already had our cup of coffee. One's enough.
Yeah. We're a 1 a.m, and then maybe one at like 2, possibly.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
okay.
Don't overdo it too much with the coffee.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I've had 3 this morning, and this is now 3 p.m. here, so time for another big batch of coffee.
That's right. Do you want to tell people what we're drinking, just for shits and giggles?
We have some Django coffee. I don't know where it's from. It's I don't know what it is actually. Where's Django?
It's a nice.
It's a Costa Rican bean.
There you go.
But I don't know where Django's from though.
Django.
All right. Are we pour over, or what's your vibe?
It's a batch brew on the Mocha Master.
Yes, just this thing. It's quite good, actually. It's great for lazy people like me because obviously we used to measure everything and you have to get it right with the grind and everything. And I think I just got a little bit too obsessed. So when Greg got this for the office, it was quite a relief.
It's a bit more forgiving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plus it makes like 10 cups of coffee at one time. It's great. It's great.
Yeah. Our ritual is with the mocha pot. Like we just do one each of those and just a nice Americano in the morning, and it's perfect.
Nice.
Yeah. So before we get too far, why don't you introduce both yourselves? Who are you, and what is it you guys do for anyone who might not be aware?
Who are you?
Who am I? I'm Chellise. Chellise Micheal is my name. So sometimes I would say it confuses people a lot.
It confuses me.
My last name is Micheal. My husband's name is Michael. Our company is Chellise Micheal Photography. And yeah, we're wedding photographers. Been doing this since 2010. Pretty much in New York City is where we like really, really hit it. So that's who we are.
Not knowing the States too well, are you still based in the Hudson Valley?
Very well,
yes.
We are. We moved up here just before / as the pandemic was blossoming.
Oh, fun times.
And we had a move date for a year and ended up here in 2020, in like March of 2020. It was quite wild.
Cool.
But was in Brooklyn for 10 years before that. And
did our time.
We did our time. And we loved it, and we left kicking and screaming, but at the same time, now, once we got up here, we really, really started to love it and enjoy the slower pace and the mental bandwidth.
Yeah. So we're about 60 miles north of the city, not very far, but so it makes it easy for us to go down there as much as we do for work. So we're very much like rooted, like business wise in Brooklyn, in the city. So much of all of our clients are from there. So we're there a lot. But yeah, I feel like this is, I think it's funny to say this, but like I finally feel like I became a New Yorker when we moved to the Hudson Valley, because that's the dream is to like do your time, hustle, and then go live upstate. And I'm like, we did it. We left. We're New Yorkers now.
And just to clarify for those that don't know, upstate to people that live in Manhattan is like 10 miles above the city, like Westchester. And then for the rest of the state, upstate is like far west and north.
Like 5 hours.
6 hours, like west.
Yeah. All perspective. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, in your spare time, do you still head into the city for some activities, or do you just like to chill at home now?
We like to chill at home, and then there are, of course, special occasions that draw us to the city. Seeing people that are going to be coming in from out of town or out of the country, go to a dinner with a friend or meet another photographer or something, and that we haven't spent time with yet. And some shows here and there. A lot of friends of ours play music and just want to go support them. But yeah, just random little things. But we've certainly, I feel like the balance, just being in the wedding industry and being so forward facing at a wedding, there's a level of extroversion that comes along with the territory with your job. And I love giving that everything that I have. And then on my downtime, it is kind of the introverted time and just time to really go in and be in the crab shell and just hang.
Yeah. Home is super sacred, and it's so peaceful and quiet. And it's just so nice to not wake up with this like go energy, which when you live in the city, you have to have that to just survive. Right. So, you just wake up and you're like, let's hit the pavement. But here it's nice to have the sound of trees and wind and frogs and birds to wake up to. And we don't feel that like pressure anymore to like so frantic. At least I don't when I wake up in the morning. So it is a really nice balance.
Yeah. Except for when Mike's recording a band or something in the basement.
Yeah, that's what the basement's for.
Yeah, I gotta ask, what, like, do you just record, or are you a musician yourself? And if so, what instrument?
I grew up. That was kind of my first career when I was a youth. I started playing in bands when I was like 11. I played in a Nirvana cover band. And we skateboarded and like played parties at like parents' houses when they were out of town, and like it was
living the dream.
Awesome. And then ended up meeting these guys when I was like 13, and we all looked at each other. We're like, let's take this seriously. And so I had like a 15-year career with them, and we just had a blast. I sang and did vocals, and I was always around studios. A lot of my, dear friends had, bedroom setups or better. I was in and out of studios recording, in nice places here and there. And I'm like the younger brother, the youngest brother of my family. So I have this energy. People just like give me hand-me-downs. It's like, oh yeah, here's this piece of clothes, or like here's this like PA. I got to move to Boston. Like take
here's
mine.
The PA.
So I have just been collecting music gear for like 25 years. So
many keyboards.
And I buy like a couple nice pieces. Sweetheart, I'm downsizing. So I enjoy recording myself, and just as a vehicle. I suck at instruments, but like I'll do some dinky little like instrumentals as a vehicle to get my voice down, and then call my friends over and like have them actually like play around it and help organize and whatever. But I just love to improvise and collaborate, and it doesn't happen often these days. It's very, very, very photography focused, but it's a great emotional outlet, and
it's also a great karaoke bar downstairs when we just randomly come over and we're like, we actually have this soundproof basement, and like, let's go tear it up. So we've had a lot of fun nights down there with like just that too.
So Chellise, is that like, are you a musician as well, or
no, not at all, zero?
Okay, and so how did you guys meet?
We met.
Tell them, honey.
I was working as a waitress at a cocktail. I was, I met him at a bar. We were at a show, and we kind of have like all these mutual friends so we didn't really know each other, but we had similar friends. And so we were both at this show because we each knew the musicians playing. And I saw him walk in the room, and I just like got all like butterfly and went up to him. And I was like, can I buy you a drink? And I bought him a drink, and I just laid it on thick.
Damn.
Right?
What, can you remember the drink?
But it was whiskey.
Probably like either a rum and Coke or something at that age.
Okay. It was a whiskey drink.
Was it?
I know it was whiskey.
Whiskey. It
whiskey,
probably had
like an old fashioned.
No, I wasn't.
No,
I wasn't that sophisticated then. No, this was this is 2007 when we first met.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I was a young buck. I was like 24 or something. 25, 24.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what a cocktail was yet.
No.
Okay, fair enough. I was just thinking whiskey's kind of a hard drink for younger people, so let's sweeten that up with some booze.
Yeah, you're not.
I think that's how I got into old fashions.
Yeah, I hit old fashions once I got to New York, like 2010. It was like, oh, cocktails. Yeah. What is this? Yeah.
And then I presume since then you've just been together shooting.
Shooting
the shit.
Yeah, shooting the shit.
Shooting the shit.
Using toilet paper, shooting the shit.
All right, so other than karaokeing and drinking, like, do you have any rituals or routines or things that you like to do together?
Sometimes we wake up around the same time. Sometimes. I feel like I'm a pretty inconsistent person, but sometimes we'll go to the gym together. We got a Gold's gym membership for those in America that know what that is. It's like funny muscle bound gym, but like
awesome.
they have
so cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. She's really into like lifting weights, and I'm really into racquetball. So you guys know racquetball?
Okay. I've never played racquetball.
Not played, but yeah.
So you're in like a big white box, and like we play teams, so it's like 2 against 2, and it's just like super fast, and it's amazing. And I don't know.
Every time I see it, I think of squash, but I know they're different.
Same court, different racket, different ball, and a little different. Okay. The pace and rules are a little different, but yeah, same space.
It's a fast game.
But I play with like a bunch of people that are 15 to 30 years older than me. So that there's up to like 75 years old, and they're just like, they're awesome. It's so fun. And just a lot of people that I don't normally get to hang out with in my like normal circles and groups or see at the bars or whatever it is. So it's really nice to like get around some different energy.
And Chellise, how much do you deadlift, bro?
My max deadlift was 190.
Shut. Oh no, wait, hang on. Yes, it's not kilograms. It's pounds. Oh my god! I was about to be like, holy fuck! What? Got a power woman over here. Shit.
I feel like 190 was my. It could have been 200. I'm kind of trying to remember the day that my trainer was like. He did this move on me where he like lied about what I was lifting.
Okay.
He was like, okay, today's like this. And then I did it. And he was like, oh my God. He's like, I told you it was 170, but it was really 190 because if I told you it was 190, you wouldn't have been able to do it. And I was just like, oh my God. So yeah, that's about the most I've gone.
Nice. That's a good weight, by the way. That's a good weight. For us UK listeners, that is about 85 to 90 kilograms, somewhere in between there.
Well, when you say it like that, I mean,
just chopping off 100 there.
I know. I didn't mean a poop. God. So then, like, did you? Obviously, your words, Simon. Words. Are you shooting weddings individually at that point? In fact, no, you weren't shooting weddings, were you?
When we first started the company, we were shooting together as a husband-wife duo. And then over the years, as we grew into a team and we kind of like started our teams that way too. We're like, well, we need another boy-girl team. And then as I feel like weddings by themselves also shifted, like they kind of started getting a little smaller, like, 130 guest count versus 200 plus. And that's kind of more common in New York too. Like the venues here aren't ginormous. So you kind of have to pare it down a little bit. There's a couple venues that do accommodate really large ones. Mm-hmm. But I think that over the years, we're like, whoa, we are over delivering. Nobody needs 1,200 wedding photos. This is crazy. Because we became such strong shooters individually that's just what would happen. So that's when we decided to kind of break up, I guess, and start shooting individually, as did our team. And it just really started, I think, worked out too, as New York weddings, we do attract more boutique weddings versus like these big, monstrous, massive 300 people things. So just kind of I feel like it naturally evolved. However, we do shoot together still. So each wedding is very, I guess, like depending on the wedding itself, like if it's requires 2 shooters and we're both available and we do know that it would benefit to have us both there, then we offer ourselves as a team. So sometimes it works out based on availability. So we kind of play it by vibe.
Yeah. I think the last 8, 9, almost 10 years, we've been shooting solo though, and just taking our own stuff. And then like a couple times a year shoot together. And yeah, every once in a while we'll get a second. She gets an assistant every once in a while to load film with her. But yeah, just enjoy working solo.
Yeah. And was part of that like a conscious, we could like almost double our revenue if we do this? Or was it more just, we don't need to be shooting together, so why not do this?
I think it was both. It was like both. There was an over delivery aspect, and there was also just a natural, like, scary part of evolution that was a perfect ripe moment to split and just do our own thing. I really needed that confidence as a shooter to just be doing things on my own at that point. And just taking it all on, my shoulders and just have it be my responsibility.
Yeah. And from a business, I'm the one that handles like more of the seeing the numbers and how that would work. And I was like, we could be doubling our income. Like, let's do this. I'm over here thinking about retirement. So, it made sense financially, obviously too. And it still does. So
definitely. Yeah.
So the question is now, who's the better photographer?
Him.
Oh, good answer.
She's such a badass. My God, she does things I will never understand or never know. And there's that, I'll never have. Like, it's just, it's about leaning into yourself, but I still get jealous when I look at her work.
I get jealous looking at his work.
You're both too humble.
That's so nice. That's so nice.
It's nice.
Whatever.
Let's get the techie bit.
We each have our flavor. So we're in I feel like it's a really lovely competitiveness too, to have somebody that you see each other's work and you're like, how the hell did you do that? And so like, I will, be like, what would Mike do? Or I'm sure he does this too, and we show off together and, show each other what we're up to. And it excites us. So I think it's nice to have that. It's like a little healthy competition.
It is for sure.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, you mentioned like sometimes Chellise will have an assistant to load film. So what is in each of your kit bags when you go to a wedding? Like let's get the techie bit out of the way.
Oh my God. It used to be so simple.
I don't know. We've always shot a lot of film, but it used to be an add-on, and sometimes we would just bring it because we wanted to shoot it and experiment and play. So I don't know, since maybe 2012, we were playing with film, and I think the last like 5 years or so, we've just 6 years, we've just kind of, I don't know, really, really grabbed the bull by the horns and gotten really, really, really into it and the experimentation of it. So there's a
so there's a lot of film cameras downstairs in the basement.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been really fun. We just experiment with so many of them. And so when it comes to a wedding day, I mean, I feel like each of us goes down there, and I personally just never know what I'm going to, I have my go-tos. Like I really know I want this camera. Uh-huh. It's like one, but then the rest of it is like all about, it's like an intuition. You're just
they
like,
speak to you. They're like,
okay, these 3 guys are coming with us today.
Yeah. You just start to talk about the day.
We don't have like a set thing. A lot of cameras in the bag though. So I feel like now I have 2 camera bags. One's digital and one's film. Hence me now bringing on an assistant just to like carry all this stuff for me. But I find that more and more I'm finding ways to consolidate into one big bag, bringing a little less digital stuff and leaning more into the film. So it's really just about trying to make it all fit in one bag at this point. So yeah.
Does like for me, like when I was on my journey with video, I always used to lean on certain crutches, certain bits of gear that I would always have. Is your journey into film kind of similar in the fact that is digital just too easy and you're just moving towards a more challenging tool to work with, but then at the same time it offers you that kind of film look and
there's
a
lot of reasons with film, but for me, I think I was just like I started shooting very unconsciously towards like 5 years ago with just digital, and I noticed just how present I became with film and how simple the machinery was. And I loved the tools so much more. Being a musician, I always worked with like tape cassette and then brought it into the computer and started everything analog and then brought it in. And I love the marrying of the two mediums of like the actual chemicals, the machine at work, the physicality of it, and then bring it in and like, crop a little bit or go through and edit in the computer screen and, deliver these digital pieces. But it's there's something about the marriage of that. But I just shoot so much less now. Like I'm shooting, if not 100% film, like usually 90% film at weddings now. If people want like, digital family photos, I'll do that. But for the most part, it's just, it's all film and maybe one digital camera body, one digital flash, and one digital lens. So it's, super tight as far as that stuff goes. I actually misplaced I never do this either. I misplaced my flash like 2 weeks ago. It was like a ketubah signing, and like they were signing the marriage license.
Your digital flash.
Yeah, my digital flash was just gone, and I have like 3 film flashes that I mess around with. So I had to finish out the night all film, but I told the couple that I would shoot digital throughout the night, and I'm just like,
oh man. Did they know? Did they realize?
No, I mean, I just went through the photos last night, and like I love the film so much more than the I haven't even seen the digital, but what I did with film is like I could deliver that. That's fine. But it's I love the look of reception with film too. Like I'm obsessed with like film and off-camera flash and just shooting manual and getting these pops of cinematic flash in the background or on the side light and just making it super dramatic.
I think that's like when you say, is it more challenging? That has been the challenge for us in a really fun way is how do we instead of just rolling up with a flash camera and flashing everybody direct, like, which is kind of what is out there, we're like, how can we mimic what we do digitally, film wise, when it comes to reception, like especially like off camera flash, multiple flashes, cinematic lighting, not just like direct flash the whole time. Like, how do we make it interesting for us? So that's been the fun part. And I think if anything, it's not even that it's more challenging, it's just more satisfying. Like, I'll shoot some, like a digital version or backup. When I bring them together with the film, I'm always like, oh, it's better on film. So, I think there's people out there that'll say like, oh, I don't see the difference. And it's like, I do. And some people do and some people don't. And that's okay. Yeah. But I do. And it's my work. And that's how I want to see it. So we just like it better.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean everybody should be shooting film. Like I just want people to like work with what's exciting to them, and like work with what's challenging to them, and work with what they know is going to satisfy their clients. And this is just something that like really speaks to us.
Yeah. What's your like go-to film, or does that vary depending on the location or the couple?
Yeah, definitely. If it's, we have to bring, sometimes like we don't know what the weather will be even the morning of. It could be raining bullets, and then by the time we get there, it's like sunshine.
Are you referring to like the stock? The stock? Yeah. I mean, I would say I just love Kodak films in general. Kodak Portra is always like it's kind of hard to beat. But gold film 200 expired and pushed is like, we save it for really special people. It's like, don't touch it unless you really love them.
For
perfect
for Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. For those who don't understand film terminology, explain what you mean by, expired, but pushing the image. Can you explain to them what that is and how that works?
Yeah, so I mean, the expired film is obviously expired, so it tends to already shoot a little dark, or could be muddy. It's going to have colors a little off. You just never know till you buy a lot of it on eBay and shoot a roll and see what you got. So you do that first. But we usually find that pushing it is something we just like have our lab do. Or no, I'm sorry,
we do it in camera.
In camera, we're like, purposely overexposing it, maybe one or two stops, and then sending it in so that it's overexposed, but it's not when you get it back.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
I liked how you made the point about saying you do it because it's what gives you joy and you enjoy shooting film, because there is a bit of a trend right now with people who are like, oh, I need to add film to my repertoire and offer that. And usually they are going down it's the on-camera, direct flash look that they're going for. Like, what's your thoughts on the industry as a whole just now? Like, not even talking about that. Like, do you pay attention to current trends? Because you've obviously been in the industry for quite a while.
Yeah, I don't think that you can not pay attention. Like, it's unavoidable, right? I mean, the past decade of being on Instagram, I've seen all the trends fly through it. And, so it's, of course we're aware of it, and it gets repetitive to a point, and just like, okay, that's what people are doing. That's what people want maybe. But,
I think it's just always a question of like, how do we relate to those trends? Are those things that we have done in the past that make sense, or are excited about now, or, what things do we do throughout the day that, are already happening that's kind of aligned with what's happening now. And if that's a part of our repertoire anyways, I see no problem in continuing to post that stuff. We're not like rebellious against trends. But if it doesn't make sense, like we in particular love straightening our photos. We love straight photos. There are times when a photo is taken and you can't straighten it. Like it just won't go straight, and it doesn't make sense. You're either going to lose too much of something or something else. And but I'm all for people like, doing what like makes sense to them, and doing the things that excite them. And a lot of our friends for years have, just been shooting that way. And it's like, awesome. Hell yeah.
Yeah. You're not the only guest who loves straight images. But like, how far are you going to go to make sure it's straight? Like, are you like tilting it and doing all sorts in post? Are you like pulling it? You're like,
nah,
no,
I don't touch that. It's just the one tool, like just a straighten tool.
No, so we're different there. Like, I will go in if it's a very specific shot. If it's a really like, if I shot it with the intention of like perfect symmetry, like maybe there's some architecture involved and that my lens is like wonky because it's wide, then I'll go like pull that thing out. I'll go straighten that. Yeah. But it's rare. Right. Normally it's just like, normally every photo is slightly crooked anyway because I have like a stigmatism, so they all need to be turned. But I think like in terms of trends again, it's like some people like love it and they do it really well and it feels natural.
Exactly.
Right? Like there's some photographers I know that I love and that do it and they rock it and it works with their style, but you can tell when people are doing it for trend, and when that to me is obvious, and I'm just like, ugh, why you're just doing that to do it. But I love all of it because even like just using the direct flash, for example, to me, it's just like, cool. I'm glad this is being more accepted because I love that look. We've always done a direct flash to a degree on certain things. And I'm just like, to me, it's just like more acceptance to like doing really strange things at weddings. So into it.
Yeah, I get that. Well, let's talk about your style actually, because like when I look at it, it's very clear that it's quite emotive. It's candid. Like what drew you to that style of photography in the first place?
Of candid style?
Yeah, like when I look, like it has a kind of candid feel to it.
Good.
But so I suppose, well, not just that aspect to it, but what drew you to your style of photography? And maybe I've put words in your mouth. How would you describe your photography?
I mean, I would describe it as very documentary style. I mean, to the point where like, I'm not going to clean up your room if it's messy. Like, if there was an explosion in there, let's take a picture of it. Like, you know what I mean? I think that, weddings are just can be a little too perfect the way that they're portrayed, and that's not really what happens. It's all documentary style. I think it just should be. There's just so many things happening and emotions and moments and little conversations happening between guests. There's too much fun happening to where I feel like it just naturally is all candids if you allow yourself to just go with it. So, and that's just like kind of what we choose to post too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like
we're really heavy with like showcasing that because that's what makes us happy.
I think, innately
good.
We are both a little, there's a rebel in both of us and a rebelliousness and something that inside us has always kind of bucked the norm a bit and, swam upstream a little. And I guess we're just not afraid to really do our thing. And we've always fought, in this company to be able to do that. And like, to be able to have carte blanche and do things our way and work with people that can give us that trust. I know it's just, everybody wants, says that and wants that. And of course there's, always couples that come around that are like challenge that in you, but yeah, I think that's the idea.
Yeah. Like, is there anything you've done over the years to try and get that response from couples? Because as you say, every wedding photographer wants carte blanche and wants complete creative freedom. So is there anything over the years that you've done to try and sort of coax that out of your potential couples?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have been very vocal about it on our website. So I think, that's a great starting point, is saying what you do and how you do it and why. And then once we meet with couples, we talk about this too. We talk a lot about that we don't work from a shot list, besides like a family photo list is different to me.
Yeah.
That we need creative freedom, and they love that. Like and that we also share like things that we don't do, like I'm not going to hang your dress in a window, and that typically just even saying that brings the people who don't want the dress in the window to us. Like it attracts them. So like that just, it's easy to do it when you're already attracting people who don't want that type of stuff, but they're seeing it on your website, on our website, we're saying it. And there just is a trust that comes with it and a confidence in saying how we work that almost all of them do give us complete creative freedom. There are going to be some sneaky ones in there that is slide in a little shot list, and we know how to like very gracefully let them know that we know how to do this. We got it, but we're not going to keep this in our pocket because it's just going to affect our whole creative flow. You get into a flow that day, and having a list either on your brain or in your pocket is completely going to wipe out anything that you have that's not like a more natural flow.
Yeah. I think sometimes that comes from like the person given that list not knowing what a wedding photographer does with their day-to-day work, because usually it's a list of stuff that you're going to get anyway. Like, oh, can you make sure and get a shot of the mother? And you're like, well, it'll naturally happen on the day anyway, sort of thing.
Or a very specific list. Can I get a picture of my mum crying while she sees me in my dress for the very first time, backlit to the
I don't want to know the lists that are out there. I haven't seen those in a really long time. But,
and I feel like those lists are written by like interns that have never been to a wedding or like
a publishing company.
We're a flower girl 5 years ago. I'm like, this is this is not happening.
Well, it's going back to that thing that you were talking about kind of putting people off your work. Like when I go to your website, the first thing that kind of strikes me is the fact that there's not much written stuff at all until you scroll all the way down. And there's a good series of images there that are quite, they're quite stylized in the fact that they're very clearly your work. And so I do get the feeling very quickly that is kind of your goal right off the bat, is to make sure that you're not getting those kind of clients, because that's not what they're going to want.
I appreciate that. That's awesome.
But
I'm glad it comes across just in the photos, and what's written is, of course, there as an enhancement and a direct call to those we'd like to speak to. But
you got to get through the photos.
Got to get through the photos first.
You got to get through the photos first.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they say. A photo has 1,000 words. What's the cliche? I can't remember. But yeah, no, I really like that about your site. Being a dyslexic person is all the less reading I need to do, the better. Good job, guys. Thank you for being dyslexic friendly.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Are there any, like, if you think back to all the weddings that you've shot, are there any particular like unforgettable moments where you've just found the right people that you are capturing and you just thought, I fucking love this job? Like, are there any moments like that kind of stick in your mind?
almost every weekend.
It is.
Like, it's so fun.
Nice.
It is so fun. I can't even tell you. Like, and it's weird being like 14 years in and like falling deeper in love with it. I don't know why, but I just love it. I think, do you have an answer?
I mean, my mind goes back to of course, because I'm attached to them now, but friendships that we still have, of couples who we had such a good time at their wedding. And then, you hope that we get to stay friends, or you think you're going to. And some of them stick and some of them don't, but the ones that have stuck, like, it's so awesome.
We vacation together. We invite them to like, weddings out of the country and stuff. And like, we'll get an Airbnb together, and it's like, they have kids now, and it's a blast. But,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I think, the most unexpected thing was I was playing a show in the Lower East Side in New York, and one of our couples that we were going to shoot the wedding for, like in 4 or 5 months from then, came to the show and saw me sing, and they're like, "Yo,
this is John and Ellie."
Yeah, you can sing high, man. You got that falsetto. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of my shit. Like, yeah. And they're like, yo, would you sing at our wedding? Would you sing? You could probably sing that song from Coming to America, Queen to Be. All right, do you guys know this song at all?
I don't know it.
Oh,
I recognize it.
All right. It's like when the opening scene, when the bride is coming down for the wedding, and like this guy is singing this like falsetto song, and it's very inappropriate and hilarious, about this like woman coming to marry a king. And he's like, would you sing Queen to Be at our wedding? I was like, yeah. And it was very unexpected of me, because I usually keep like photos and music are very separate from me. Yeah. But cocktail hour, I got up on a stool and they gave me a mic, and I sang this song a cappella for her to come into and be introduced into cocktail hour. And the older generation was just like, he's got a good voice. And then like the younger generation was just dying. They were cracking up because they knew the song. And
the movies from like this, it's like an 80s Eddie Murphy song.
Yeah. I remember the movie, but I just can't picture that scene. Like, I've not seen it for a long time.
It is ridiculous. And it's the only time in my career I've ever turned the video function on my camera, and I was like, I don't know how this works, but I'm going to try it. And it worked. And sorry, FedEx just showed up. And then it was so hilarious. Even like our friend who was across the street at another venue doing a wedding, he's a wedding planner. He like ran over to watch it because he was like, I can't miss this. He left this wedding for 10 minutes.
We'll try to find the video. And
oh my God, it's really hilarious. That was
just one of those connections, like experiences in that way, they're so special.
Yeah.
And it's about like, that's the only time I've ever done that, but it was an unexpected thing and strange, but melting into more of like the fabric of the wedding in a way that's like, I don't know, conducive for the moment and ripe for the couple, is just really, really special. And it just makes it a unique thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're after on the normal day, is just really finding a way to like literally weave into the fabric of the wedding and be more of an insider that is a respectful insider that is taking note and reading cues and observing, but not only playing fly on the wall. Like it's coming from the inside and giving more of a guest perspective that's really exciting to us.
Yeah. So you're not trying, like, you're not normally standing up and taking center stage, and you're not normally trying to
that
change
was
the energy.
a
You're trying to
very unique scenario that they called me and it fit that wedding and them, and I was like, that makes sense. And yes, and that was the only time I ever done that. But
it's hard to say no to John Bignelli too.
It is. But he's got these baby blue eyes.
He's got these baby blue.
But yeah, there's an interesting performative aspect to what I do, like on a wedding day, but it's with respect to the boundaries and understanding my place and recognizing, like, you know, who the stars of the show are and being there to be with that energy, but not controlling of it or dictating or dominating. It's tapping into all of that planning, all of the work that this couple has put into this day, all of the crazy energy of the parents, and just like them having a really spectacular, like dynamic emotional time as well, and learning how to like just swim in that ocean with them, and be a part of it rather than tell them what to do and you know, tell them how to do it and this and that, and just being too, you know, claws out or look at me or anything like that.
Yeah. Does that change much when it comes to like couple portraits, when you're maybe a bit more hands-on rather than documentary? Does your energy from either of you change at all when you're in that section of a day?
I mean, the portrait session, or engagement shoot it's one of my favorite parts of the whole process, you know, because
I think he's talking about like the portraits on the wedding day.
During the day of. Which one are you referring to?
More so on the day of a wedding, like when you steal the couple for maybe 10 minutes or so, or however long you like.
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess that does play into the engagement shoot that we do. The you know, it is kind of the little training of that 10 minutes. We don't drag people on an hour-long portrait session on wedding days where, you know, we do it prefer to do it in very small blips, like 20-minute first look, 20-minute sunset, boom, we're done. We don't want to like drag them around too long. So since we've already done an engagement shoot together, that friendship and trust is already built in. And also our tips on direction, you know, we're not like, we did that during the portrait session. So when it comes to the wedding day, they're already armed with it. They already know what to do. They trust us, and they trust that we're going to take beautiful portraits. So like, it's a very easy, and it depends on the couple too. Like if they're, you know, we're very sensitive to how they are and how they interact. And, you know, are they rowdy? Are they silly? Like, are they really reserved and shy and put together and, you know, want to be presented that way? So I think that, you know, when it comes to that kind of stuff, it's really about reading the room, reading them, and going with that energy, right? So
I think an answer is it's kind of an extension of what we do there throughout the wedding day anyways, but as far as the amount and level of, you know, ways that we work with the couple and like, you know, pose them or etc. Like there are certainly times where we're giving them a lot of direction, and it's our job to make it not really look like that. We'll never, like, you can't just tell them to like look relaxed, because that does the opposite. You can't tell them this, you can't tell them that, but there's just kind of tools that we use, or like I think the main tool, as she said, is just doing the engagement session, you know, previous to this, and they know what to kind of expect. But it's just being you around them and somebody that they want to be around, and giving a little bit of like light direction about just where to place this, because we do love, you know, editorial look. We love a strong pose and like the way arms hang and you know, particular aspects to a great portrait taken. And there's also just the razz and fun of like the candid part of just walking from point A to point B. And we're always shooting.
It's interesting. I mean, we do obviously, like you said, you know, there's a little light direction. I'd say it's more of a like giving people just a little direction so that they end up falling into their own. But I find that say I have 20 minutes of portraits, on the last 5 minutes, I'll usually be like, just do whatever you want. You know what to do. And they know what to do. So, I'm learning also like just to give people a little more permission to do what they want. And they end up being incredible portraits too. I had a couple where I said that at the end and they just held hands and started running. And I was like, what the, this is amazing. I never would have said that to you, but like, that's what they wanted to do. They were just so full of it and they just like needed to go.
Yeah. I love that. Good energy.
Energy. Yeah. So, I think the engagement shoot is pretty key though. A really, really major component to that portrait.
So I was going to ask you this, and it wasn't in the pre-show notes, but I saw.
Wait, let me cut you off.
I know. I'm sorry, guys. Surprise! I'm going to surprise you with a question. Today, do you know the photographer Jai Long?
Yeah.
I saw a post today on his Instagram, and I just had to double check, and on it he said why I would never offer a free engagement session, and then it obviously goes into explain why. So if anyone's interested, go to Jai Long's Instagram. But I thought that was interesting because I think a lot of photographers do. Yeah. So why do you guys do the engagement session? And do you do it for free? Like, tell me about this session and what it brings.
It's actually, we consider it part of the package, and it's a gift, and it's not replaceable by hours at the wedding or a rehearsal or a welcome party. It is what it is, and it has a function. And when we describe it to people, even people that don't want to do something like that are always like, "Oh, that sounds cool." And yeah, it would be a good idea to get like a little test run with you. And us mentioning that it's not even about the photos. The photos are a byproduct of this session. It's more about hanging out together. And any extra time that we get with a client is so worth it and informative for us. This is us. Like, we are too emotionally attached to how we operate and what we do. And we yearn for connection with our clients and with our people that we're working with. And this is the first step past the meeting that we initially have, to actually gain some footing and have some solid ground to stand on for when the wedding comes.
I find that at these, engagement shoots, when we roll up, we don't even start taking pictures for a good hour. Like,
hour and a half sometimes.
It's having a drink, a snack plate. We're getting deep. I mean, a lot of times we're getting incredibly deep with people. And then a camera comes out and like, cool, they have some snaps, but we're like, these aren't for your save. If they're for your save the dates, cool, but that's not why I'm taking them. Like, I don't care if these ever see the light of day. It's for them and it's for us. And so that we I feel something on the wedding day, I need that. I could not imagine having a Zoom with someone and then a year and a half later being like, what's she look like? I have no idea who the bride is. And that would happen. And like, and when it does come to that, 20 minutes I have with them and there's nothing, it's going to show in the photos. So,
and again, we have friends that work the opposite of us and like are more like Jai, or perhaps that is his perspective. I don't know if he needs that or doesn't need it or what, but and they make absolutely incredible work, and I don't know how they do it because this is what I need. So just honoring the type of involvement that you need yourself as a photographer with your client. Some people want to be more hands off, and there's a lot of potential clients out there that want that approach, and it's just not for me. Like, I can't do it.
How strict are you on that? Like, if someone was flying you out for a destination wedding, or if they were flying into New York, would you make sure that they carved out time like the day before the wedding to do a session like that?
At the time,
yeah.
Even
if we've done this a very few times, but even if we can't do a shoot, but just get a physical hang in, again, like the photos really aren't what matters. It's the connection and just knowing who they are, and like that's all that really matters. So we've done engagement shoots the day before a wedding, like when it comes to destinations, and a few days before. So but I just feel like as long as we get some sort of time with them is really what matters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's talk about how you guys run your business, because obviously it's not just you guys, right?
Well, it's Mike and I, and then we have a studio manager, Amber, who's been with us for I think 8 or 9 to 10 years. I don't know. A long time.
Wow.
8, 9, or 10 years. My goodness.
Yeah.
What, do you keep her in the basement? The extra
Amber.
So what roles do you usually take on the business?
Let's see.
She's the money.
The money.
Yeah.
So this is it's evolved over the years. And I think one of the coolest things we did, one of the best things we did, was we busted out a spread, or we made our own list of all the things we do as individuals for the business. And then a list of and then we marked what we like doing and what we don't like doing. So as individuals, right? And then we basically swapped some roles based on those, who's good at this, who's better at this, who sucks at this. And then things that we don't like doing, both of us, we ask Amber to do.
Amber.
It starts that we offer it to her, and then if it doesn't work for the three of us, we hire out.
Yeah, but things like, I mean, when I say that, it's like things that she is like a Virgo. I don't know if that means anything to you. Loves a spreadsheet. Like, she's so freaking organized, and I'm an organized person, but she's next level. Like, for her, she enjoys the stuff, the admin stuff that we don't like. Like, to know that somebody actually loves that stuff is such a relief for us. So that's like what she does, a lot of that, like back end stuff, like sending out the questionnaire, the invoicing, the contracts, organizing the calendar, like adding all the notes from the questionnaire into our calendar so that we see it. So there's a lot of like back and forth. She's CC'd on all the conversation with the clients. So there's a lot of that going on. Mike does the inquiries. So he's kind of like, filtering through those. And then that's kind of, I don't know, the gist of, I don't say that's the gist of it. I do the social. Mm-hmm. You've been doing a little bit of social lately. So we kind of like dip into like, what do we like doing? And Amber does a lot of the stuff that just is back end and very important part of our work. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah. Is she local as well, or is that like a remote job that she's got?
She's actually based in Washington State. So she's many hours.
Wow.
Many hours
flight away. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a funny. She is one of my closest friends, and that's kind of how I got her. And I didn't know. I like the story I have about like how I knew she was the one before we even needed her. Because before I even started this business with Mike, we went on a girls' trip to go see Santigold in LA at a show, like a big girls' trip. And when we were leaving the hotel and checking out, there's like 4 of us girls, and we're all crammed in Amber's Honda Civic. And we all like roll out to the bell guy, and he's just tossing our luggage in the back. He's making it work. And she like screams, "Stop." And she pushes him aside, and she like reorganizes it in a really calm way and to her liking. And just like, he's like, "Okay, lady." And she's like, "Done." And in that moment, I was just like, damn, this girl is like, she's organized. She's particular. Nice. Her closet is color coded also by genre, 60s, 70s, 80s, accessories, everything. So when we came to the point where I was like, we need somebody organized. I'm like, Amber. And that's how we got her.
Yeah.
Damn, that is next level. I consider Greg really good with spreadsheets and stuff. I'm not, so I'm just a fool. But that is wow.
Yeah, I'm not that level. Nowhere near.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Hey, I'm Ashley from With Jack. I'm one of the sponsors of the Perspective podcast. With Jack helps to keep photographers in business by supporting them financially and legally if they have problems with a client or they make a mistake in their work. We've all had that fear of our CF card or our hard drive failing and losing important photos. You can find out more at withjack.co.uk. Head over there and find out how we can help you be a confident creative.
What number of sort of bookings do you aim for? Like the start of the year, taking those inquiries in, what are you hoping to hit number of bookings wise?
I think average around 20 each.
Okay.
I took a little less this year. And then...
Yeah, 20's always been the number since day one. We've really never wanted to go over that, just to preserve ourselves. In many ways. I haven't experienced burnout. So I think it worked.
You haven't?
We haven't in a couple
not
of years.
Not in a major way, no. I mean, I think you do in a little bit, but in the sense of just like a major burnout, no. Like we've learned to structure our year out to be a little more soft in the summer and give us a break. But in terms of like the number of weddings a year, when I hear people that do like 40 up weddings a year, I'm just like, how do you even do that? It's crazy.
I got burnt out when I was younger.
When you were younger. But yeah, so 20 is our goal. Sometimes it's, 17 or 18, sometimes it's 22. You always kind of be a little lenient, but that's the goal.
Yeah. And then portrait sessions with each of those. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, like, some elopements sprinkled in.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you so tell us how you kind of monetize everything? Because obviously you mentioned you used to work together and now you split up to make extra money. How are you? Was that it? And then nothing else changed, or did you like? How do you structure your packages? How do you tell couples what they can get and all that kind of stuff?
Let's see. Well, we had a team for about 10 years, and, figured out different offerings with them. And again, like we kind of split up and then split the teams up and just had everybody sort of second for each other and then call in other, trusted seconds to come in.
But the way that our packages are structured is like, here's 3 options. Mm-hmm. Single patty, double patty, triple patty.
Nice.
It's very cut and dry. Like, here's what it is.
Okay.
Who do you want? Based on availability. Sometimes it's like we're both available. One of us is available. Or sometimes again, it's best to be sold as a package together.
Yeah.
So that's how we do it.
Can people normally tell which part of your portfolio is whose? Or is it more like, I want a boy at my wedding?
Sometimes we just got an inquiry of a queer couple that said they thought they wanted a female to shoot, but they saw the work and they were like, oh, well, I think I'd be open, to either of you. And that was really sweet. Like sometimes, it can be dictated with that. I don't know if they can tell or what. Like, we've kind of kept it a little more elusive these days. But you can go in the wedding tab of the website and see our individual work. But it's on Instagram. We're kind of purposefully just putting it out there as like, we don't say who shot it.
Okay. Which is going to be interesting for the show and tell there, because obviously I didn't know. So I hope I have a fair distribution of work and it's not just one of you.
All good.
This is going to be competitive.
There'll be prizes for the winner, obviously. So do you, like, we've spoken to a lot of photographers who do like a flexi pricing type thing.
What does that mean? Flexi?
Flex, it's like a certain client's a little bit further away, so you'll add on extra travel money, or you need to stay somewhere specific, or it'll be, oh, I know that this is a very fancy venue. I'm getting the vibe that they are more of a wealthy type. I'm trying to make this as morally bankrupt as possible. Like, I'm gonna charge you more money because you're rich type vibe.
Oh, pain in the ass.
I mean, it's never that aggressive, but just for shits and giggles. Do you do anything like that?
I would say the only thing we really do is, we do have travel pricing. So if we're getting an inquiry for out of the country, it's a flat rate. We know how much it's going to cost to get us out of the house into the airport and 3 nights. And, we bundle that all up in. It's just so it's nice and like, here's one price. Don't stress about additional costs. So we have multiple price sheets that vary depending on travel. So it's always going to be our base price. And then travel, is like, I would say the only thing that makes it switch because we bundle it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And do you have like add-ons, like a la carte type vibe? Can they buy extra albums or things like this?
Right. So, our package is pretty much we just actually changed this to where we're including welcome party into our package. We're adding that in, the full wedding day coverage with just one of us. And then a second shooter is, I think, the most a la carte thing that's going to happen pretty much. But that's about it. Everything's the film, like we just default to film. So it was an add-on. I would say about a year and a half ago, we were like, oh, it's an add-on. And everybody was adding it on. So we're like, well, let's just make it the default and just make that, up our price, that add-on. And so increase the rate X amount. And then, so now it's just like, it's part of our jam because when we did get the one couple that was like, yeah, we don't need it. We were like, oh,
I literally,
we're like, I don't want to shoot.
I'm going to do it anyway.
I had a call with that couple.
Anyway.
I was like, hey, I know you don't have the money. Would you accept film as a gift? Because I really it's all I don't understand my digital computer anymore.
Yeah. I suppose one element of doing a flexi pricing would be the price of film, because it has risen up quite a bit, right? So So I suppose.
But at least now it's like evened out availability wise. Like for a while there, we were stressing about just having it, and so we had to buy we have an extra fridge downstairs
with the weirdest stocks, just in case, we couldn't get our go-tos, and we just be like, "What's Wolfen? What's this? What's that? What's Daily
film? Let's try it."
And we were just playing so much, so we would, let the people know at engagement sessions, be like, "This is a little experimental."
So their engagement shoots were always, we only shoot film for engagement shoots. We don't even bring the digital camera. And that's a really good time to play with new stocks. But we would always be like, look, this is a fuck around and find out moment. I'm going to shoot this weird wily roll and just see what happens. And I let them know that. Yeah. They're like, cool.
Yeah.
And then it always comes out great. It's all good. But anyway, I kind of went off on a tangent.
You're not turning up with infrared film, are you? So this is going to be interesting.
Black and white. Heard it. But yeah, so the film add-on thing, we were like, wow, it's expensive. We got to up our rate for it. But now we're like, yeah, but we love it, and we want it to be our go-to,
and still accessible. We're only adding on what the film cost is, if that. It's
I did have some questions about your solo work, which we've kind of decided to skip over just a little bit for time. However, you do have a personal photography side of your business, right?
I do. I have a little one called 1-800-Chellise. I call it my side boob website.
Your side boob?
because it's like it's just a fun. It's just when I have a crazy idea in my head that I want to like just get it out. I'll hit up one of my girlfriends and be like, "Come over. We're playing dress up. I want to fucks with some weird light. I want to do this thing and get it out of my system."
Nice.
So it's a very just. It's really just for personal expression when it strikes. But and I've also put on there like Mike and I's collage work too that we do together, which is really fun. And so I gotta say the personal work, I it's not something I'm putting out there or trying to monetize on, even though people are like, you could totally do that. And I'm like, I don't care. It's weddings is my work and this is my play. Yeah. But I do like showcasing it through the site just to show another side of my work and stuff. And
do the two ever like intersect? Have you ever found you've been playing around and then just had an idea for something you could maybe try and then an engagement session or even a wedding?
Oh my God, the collages, I think.
Have you ever done a collage for a wedding?
What's that?
Have you ever done a collage for a wedding?
Yes, that's where I'm getting at. Yeah, like so during
sorry.
Slow down, bro.
I'm sorry. I didn't see that. I didn't see any of these images.
I know they're sneaky. So they are during the pandemic when we were just like kind of bored, right? We're like, how can we still play with our couples in a different way? We started cutting them up, like printing their wedding photos and cutting them out of them and pasting them into collages with like old magazines and things like that. So we did that for like our friends, like one or two of our friends that we were just messing around with, and posted it. And then we started getting a couple couples whose weddings we didn't even shoot. They're like, can we commission you for one of these? And it was a really fun experiment to do. And it was really cool. So that we ended up, did marry into our collage work.
Yeah, there's that. But I would also say, just on behalf of Chellise, if I may, her personal photography work with 1-800-Chellise, I think it absolutely influences like how she sees light, how she works on a wedding day. She'll do particular things during portraits or see particular things or ways of working that I don't think a lot of people would see, and I think is informed by the studio work that she does. And it's insane because she's with that work, she's like going to Home Depot and like scouring the aisles for, things to shoot through or with or in accompaniment with that. Like this girl hates Photoshop. She does not touch that shit.
I hate it. I won't.
I'm with you.
She's
I don't like it.
Working with like things and objects to create effects, just, the way old filmmakers did, in order to create the effects that she wants. And she just plays till she gets something cool. And I see her getting creative like that, like unconsciously or subconsciously at weddings. And it's incredible.
Yeah, I love that. So I did get excited when you mentioned the collage stuff for weddings, because I thought you hadn't done it and you were just having that idea of trying it. But obviously you have tried it. Obviously, it's just because I hadn't seen it in your gallery, and I've looked at a fuck ton of your work. By the way, it's like I'm trying to scroll myself all the way through your Instagram to see if I can find that image that you were talking about.
You mean the weddings collage stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, I'll have to send it to you. I don't even. I don't know.
Yeah. Please do. I'd love
2020 or 21 like sometime.
Oh no.
Maybe it was a story.
It's
a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
you could be scrolling forever.
Yeah. Oh, I want to jump back to, you mentioned like building a team. So you've obviously scaled that back a bit now. So talk to us a bit about that experience. Like, what was the inspiration behind doing that? And then how did that process go for you? Why is it scaled back?
Oh, man, it was an incredible experience. I wouldn't have changed. I wouldn't take it back. I mean, it was really challenging in many, many ways, but it made us just so strong as communicators and listeners. it started out as, I think any photographer, when you start getting a lot of business and you're seeing things pass up. And we also had met this photographer who was really useful. Like we came to New York from Arizona, where like light is just filling and it's natural light everywhere. It's like California easy. But when we got to New York, we were like, how do we do this? Like this, we don't know how to use flash. Like what's off camera flash? And we met this photographer who was like just moved to New York, was hungry for work, wanted to assist with us, and he assisted with us. And like he could light up a room in like a second. We're like, we got to figure out a way to keep this guy. So let's give him a job. So we ended up bringing him in, and that's how it started. We grew the team, and it got kind of like big fast, I would say.
Yeah, I think that was in 2012 or something like that.
Like 2012.
So after 2 years of shooting, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, we grew to a team. It was quite quickly, within a year or two after bringing Daniel on, we had like at our max, there was 6 of us total shooting. So it was like 90 to 100 weddings a year.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Mike and I were editing all of it.
And then, we try to hire on editors,
Crazy.
and like some of them did great, but we also were so particular. And
and I think that's why it was successful. It's because our editing was consistent and beautiful, and like we were very serious about coaching and making these photographers stronger, and so that's it was a lot of that. I think anytime you have a team, you can't just be like, yeah, go do a thing, make me money. Like it does not work that way. You need to be very supportive, also constructive, and
honoring of their personality and like the way that they learn and the way that they take in information. And it was a lot of like understanding pain points, because it's a creative industry we're in, and creations are our babies, and that's a very sensitive topic. And so learning to be sensitive to that was a difficult and rewarding thing. Like we certainly had experiences where it was like needed to learn the edges of certain people, and learn how to build people up, and learn how to put our foot down and stand up for our business and all of this stuff. So it's a lot. And we used to teach a class on it, about how to grow your business and photography and stuff, and how to build a team successfully, and the do's and don'ts. But there's a lot to it. But we came to a point where, you mentioned burnout. That's where I burned out. Was like management, having a team, and not being able to spend the time that I wanted to with my own work. It just became this like repetitive cycle, like just get the wedding out, just get it out. And now without the team for the last year and a half, 2 years, there's just like a lightness and a joy around like going through my work and spending the time that it deserves with it. And just honoring these clients in a whole new way, I think, because of it.
Yeah. Can you, for those who are maybe thinking, even though it has been kind of a quieter year for a lot, can you give one like crucial tip for someone who's maybe considering taking that next step to growing an actual
Find yourself an Amber.
Yeah, I would say definitely. It's true. The laying the foundation first of having a studio manager before you hire people, because all the just the extra admin alone of all those other weddings this person's going to bring in, of you having to manage those inquiries and those contracts and those invoices. If you can have somebody else doing that, it's going to allow you to focus on nourishing that photographer and getting them to grow with your company and your ethos on the more creative side, and to really put all your energy, because you're going to already put a lot of energy into that, or you should be, and just having the Amber there to deal with like just the paperwork and all the extra time that that needs to go into like taking care of those clients on the back end.
Yeah.
So that is just, I think, truly the most important part first. And I don't think it should be that intimidating. People like, oh, I have to get a studio manager. Like, she works, she's 10 hours a week. It's not a massive expense, and it can be done from home. So getting somebody trained to be your studio manager is not also difficult. I would recommend just looping them into your emails and seeing how you talk to people. And like with Amber, we literally were like, just watch how we talk to people. This is how we answer inquiries. Let me know when you're ready to take the reins on invoicing. Let me know when you're ready to do a contract, and we're always CC'd, and she naturally got confident with things and grew and grew and grew, so like, I think that's where you start. Your team is your foundation.
Yeah. I loved how you finished that off, because when I asked for a tip, you kind of started and it sounded more like a word of warning rather than a tip. It was like, if you're not going to have an answer, you will break down.
You will. No, it's really great.
Do you guys, obviously, having gone through that, and I know you have different roles, so Mike, this is probably more for you. Do you operate a CRM or anything like that into your business, or are you fully hands-on with the client communication and all that kind of stuff?
The only CRM we use is Asana, but that's just between me, Mike, and Amber, and like our going back and forth and due dates, it's just that. But since and there's a lot of automations going on, but that's a little more like within a pick time thing, for example. But Amber, I like Amber to write and send a contract and have a warmth to it, and that kind of like that type of email going on versus just like this automated canned response follow-up thing. Like,
we want a human experience, like for the people that come to us and the couples that come to us. So that's important to us to have, just having a tailored, like, canned response to a point, but then there's always tweaking and there's always warmth injected, and personality and understanding, like bits and points from their inquiry that you can connect on. And
I didn't realize you guys were PickTime users.
Yes, we are.
We're big fans over here.
Talk to us about how that, like, the gallery delivery fits into your client sort of relationship, because obviously you build up that big relationship at the start with the engagement shoot, and then you've that really big day with them. So how do you utilize PickTime to continue that relationship and delivery?
And before you answer, that was not sarcastic. In case people were thinking,
it didn't come off sarcastic. No.
Okay, fine. Because I do love PickTime. It's great.
Yeah, it's a wonderful platform. I mean, we've been with them since day one. I met them at Field Trip when they were like had a little booth and trying to like pitch their stuff to everybody. They hooked us up with like a complimentary one for this photo retreat we did, and they're always up on it with design, and they listen and take feedback seriously, and they're very active on there's a Facebook group. I love how that they are like on it. It's great. And I think the client experience, honestly, it's pretty bomb. I mean, moms know how to download photos. It's all I care about. Like, there's so many privacy layers, which is incredible. We make a lot of money on print sales. So it's it's incredible. I love it.
Yeah.
And I mean, even one of our clients, like Danny's first wedding, I want to say it was 2017. They keep renewing their gallery for year after year. I'm like, that's like, you're paying, we charge an annual rate after it expires. And I'm like, okay, these people for 6 years have renewed this.
They really like it.
They like it a lot. Like to say that like people will pay to keep it up in that visual format because of how pretty it is, it says a lot to me about just PickTime in general.
Yeah. And if you're a video person and you haven't thought about PickTime, they're adding some video features Or have they been added yet?
They've
Or are they
added
still in testing?
some new video features. I think you can download videos
have.
now, and I think it's incredible. When
Yes.
we used to offer we used to have videographers on our team, and I loved how they looked in pick time.
Edit note from post-production. The video feature for pick time, it's not out yet.
It's not out yet. It will be soon.
Not fully released. Coming soon. So keep your eyes peeled on pick time and on our feed, because we'll tell you all about it when it comes out.
Yeah. It's not very often that future selves needs to recorrect past selves. Which is amazing, because we talk a lot of shit.
Maybe if you just listen to it, you'll notice that I stayed very quiet, because I was pretty sure at the time that it hadn't been released. So we went and checked. It's not out yet. It's not public. So
yet again, Simon says absolute bollocks.
Keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah, keep your eyes peeled. It's a great feature, by the way. It's great. Can't recommend it highly enough.
Back to the episode.
Yeah, it's good. We were helping them test that kind of feature for them. I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember if it was out yet or not.
Good job.
Yeah. I didn't build it, but I'll tell them good job.
Yeah, people, the way that they see their photos for the first time is really important. Even when it comes to video, when I've had videographers be like, "Oh, check out my work," and they send me to a messy Vimeo page, I'm like, ugh, like.
Oh, I know.
I don't like it. I want to be something clean and pretty that's just there, that simple video. So
yeah, we've done the whole Vimeo thing. We upload to YouTube sometimes still for the website, but every time it's just it just looks bad. I feel like video people have had to get the bum end of the deal for a long time.
Yeah.
To be honest, there's not really been a good platform.
Absolutely. But I mean, technology has just had to catch up as well with the ability to stream and etc. But things are getting there.
Yes. Thank goodness. You mentioned working with video. What is your approach for working alongside another creative set of eyes? Like, do you work well with other people? Who even do you normally shoot with?
Yeah, I mean, we used to have videographers on our team that those are the ones that we were like, look, we don't know anything about what you're doing, just do it and deliver it on time and be like us in terms of, have the same ethos of like the client experience, and don't be weird. Don't be weird or cheesy.
Don't be weird. You're asking a video person an awful lot there. All right.
Don't be. What's the word I use? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, same vibe. And so that worked out great, but they always moved to California. So we're like, we're done. So now we just recommend them. So we have like a rec list of, multiple videographers in all kinds of styles, whether they're film focused or
anyone we should check out? I love asking this question. I want to hear of other new people.
Yeah. I mean, Matt is awesome. Our Matt.
Is that his company?
Matty.
Yeah.
The thing is you go to his website, it won't be wedding-y. So we'll have to send you some links. How about that?
Yeah.
Follow up with some links. But New York wise, we really love Hello Super Studios, and Sacred Pact. I worked with those girls recently, and they were rad. They were fun. They were getting down on the dance floor. They were like having a good time, at weddings. And that's what I like to see, is like somebody who's got like having as much fun as us and having energy, and not just like being stiff and just wearing AirPods and not present.
Yeah, it's so funny actually. You are right with like, that's one thing I remember a lot about, like just seeing other video people do their stuff. They've always got cans on, the headphones for people who aren't in there.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, our approach when we work with videographers is like roll right up, say hi, like let's get on the same page. What's up? What's your vibe? And like just a few like preferences, that I like to like go over and ask what theirs are, and like, hey, do you need time for portraits? Like, what do you like to do? Just, I think communication right on the beginning is super important to carve out, even just for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So sometimes we even will have a call with the videographers if we've never worked with them, and we just want to catch a vibe. And, make sure that they get space that they need too, because some videographers are so hands off, and some are like, they want to direct, they want 10 minutes with a couple. And so we don't know this, and I don't want to figure this out the day of. So I think it's important, and it's just respectful.
And with some of those videographers that do want to do more with portraits and stuff and not just follow the lead of the photographer, we love just knowing that, so we can actually carve out time, or just give, split the portrait time between photo and video, and then we'll go get details, and then they'll take over, or whatever it is. Whatever works.
I love taking a break.
Yeah.
As that reminds me, back when we started, we would, because we obviously been doing it for a little while, there wasn't much video around in the wedding scene, so we were asking for like split couples session, and I think it rubbed some photographers the wrong way.
Oh, interesting.
So
this is like 12, 13 years ago.
What are you doing on my turf, punk?
That's it. Fucking video guy.
The sort of thought process was that if they had 5-10 minutes, then we had 5-10 minutes, it would make both of us faster.
Yeah.
And it did work that way, but some photographers would maybe back like 10 years ago, they'd be like, wait a minute, what? I'm getting half the amount of time? Oh no.
Yeah.
But nowadays we just work at the same time.
Yeah. Gotcha. I still am like all for, hey, let's divvy it up, because also I feel like when the client gets their video and their photos, it's just kind of like the same thing. So like, how about your video has a totally different look and there's no photos of it, because you're obviously doing video, and and couples are being videoed while their portraits are being taken. You can tell that their portraits are being taken in the video, right? Because they're where they're looking. Yeah. I think it's really cool from a client perspective, to get a video that is a little different than the photos, right?
And for me, just less people making it seem like paparazzi, and like the client experience of too many people at portraits. I'm just sensitive to and aware of it, and I just want to make sure that it's a good feeling for them, like throughout that time.
Yeah.
So sometimes if a videographer is open to it, I'll ask, and it's not a requirement, but it's just a request of just having one of them come rather than 2 or 3. And
we do the same. Even if I have a second shooter, I'm telling them, I don't want you taking pictures or portraits.
Same. I keep my second away if I have one.
I just don't want my client to have that many cameras pointing at them. It's already overwhelming to have one on you. So
How do you guys feel about that? Like, what do you guys do?
I mean, now so there's always 1 or 2 things that I like to have an input in, and I'll suggest, but to be honest, it's very much, if we meet someone on the day, it's very quickly that I'm going to make friends with this person. Not Greg, he's already my friend, the photographer. And I just want to make them feel like I am their best pal on the day. So I'll be giving ideas. I'll be saying, hey, have you got any ideas? Let's work together and do something, like if we don't have a lot of time. And then usually I'll let them get their stuff. And if it's something that I need or want, I'll be like, hey, just let me know once you got that shot. I'll do something very quickly. And then, 10 seconds and I've got my shot or whatever it is. And then, so it's very...
In terms of like how casual. Many people are there, like we both do tend to go along for the couple session, but I'm tending to be like on the periphery, just more of a fly on the wall, getting off angle shots, whereas Simon and the photographer will be more of the lead, sort of giving a bit more guidance.
Yeah, totally. I think with video, it's important. I mean, I understand it from a video perspective, because you need that tight and wide to like make it interesting when you put it together. It makes so much sense. But with photo, it's like, I don't need a wide version of the tight shot. So second shooter, get out of here. Go get the flower shots.
I can see why you guys do it as well. But I'll be interested to hear what y'all's perspective is if you're listening and you're maybe hadn't thought about that before. So get in contact.
Jump to show and tell.
Let's do show and tell. Yes.
Oh my God.
It's going to be all.
I actually did this a little while ago, so I can't remember what images I've got of yours or whose even is the images.
I'll just forewarn you. There's a lot.
There's a lot.
I think there's 5. He's normally trying to keep it to 3, but he's got 5 images here.
Pictures?
So
Okay. Is
well,
it going up,
I think
or is it?
So I was wondering if you were going to see this. I think that this is one of your collages.
Oh, I
I
can't
can't even see it. It's just a black.
Oh, it's the dark skinned woman with the
yeah.
there's a little fish.
There's a fish in
coral
here.
reef.
There's some color kind of cut into the background of her.
It's geometric, right?
Is that again?
Yeah, it's the geometric one.
Yeah.
It's interesting how I can't really see it. Yeah, that's a collage that I made.
Yeah, so this is from your personal
Correct.
portfolio.
1 point for Chellise.
1 point.
Yes. Well, that's cheating because I actually knew this one was from your personal work. That's why it's first. But the reason I liked it is because all these kind of dark tones of her skin and even the gradient on the background mixed with these like surreal moments. I didn't even see the fish at the top of her head. That's
and some like coral reef, I think.
Yeah. I just loved all the tones and the delicate gradients of it. So what made you create this image?
So let me just make one thing clear. I did not take that photo of that woman.
You did not take the photograph.
Collage work is not everything you see on most of the collage work is all from vintage magazines or magazines that we cut up and layer. So that's what collaging is to me. So the wedding collages that we did are the only work we've ever done of our own images. Mm-hmm. But whoever took that photo is really good at lighting.
See, I thought you had taken the images, like you had taken the portrait and done the extra collage work.
No,
but
that would be next.
So what's your thought process when you go to start creating something like this, like from found images or whatever? Like, how are you coming up with these ideas?
We pour a glass of wine and make some nachos.
Wine and nachos.
And then and we stack up a bunch of magazines and we look at them like we just have stacks and stacks in the basement, and it's just like picking out a camera for the day. It's like, who's talking to me right now? And,
you just open pages and whatever you like, you cut out without any real thought. Just cut it, set it aside, and then a lot of my collages have a lot of I like geometric shapes, ingredients, colors. So I would just make those. I think I made those cuts, the geometrics. Like I found a pattern. Like Juxtaposed magazine is a really good magazine for cutting because there'll be a lot of just art in there that's like colorful and gradients or whatever. And I'll just cut it into pieces that I like. And I just you start placing things on top of each other and
then you yell out, commit.
And then you do it. But yeah, we used to have these little collage parties where we invite, 2 to 4 more people over, and it's like a 4 or 5 hour hang, or we all collectively do it. And for people who've never done it before, it's a little nerve wracking. They're like, I don't know what to do. So we start with a community one where I'll put down the first piece, pass it on. Somebody adds a second layer to it. The next person adds, and by the end of the night, it's just this the cover photo for our it's called Taste Like Glue Instagram for the collages is an image of a collective where 4 or 5 of us pasted onto it. So it's a nice warm up. And then from there, I think everybody kind of your juices start getting going and get a little more confidence with cutting.
But yeah, it's just the quietest party ever.
It's a quiet party.
It's so nice. Everybody's so focused on their work. Then they
flicking through magazines.
Fuck, what are you up to?
Yeah, it's really, it's beautiful. So
yeah. It sounds actually like a really nice experience, and I've never really thought about how even creating art or anything doesn't need to be an isolated experience. Mm-hmm. Every time I think about a photograph, it's from a photographer's point of view, and they're creating something on an image, and okay, there's another person there, but it's very much there's something in between you. And if I think about artists, I think about like painters, and it's very much them, canvas in front, and then.
Yeah.
But the way that you're describing this kind of experience of creating,
It's more like creating a song.
Yeah,
like those community ones are almost like jamming on a song.
Yeah, because it's fun to experience the feeling of the room and who's in there collectively, and we're all working, you know, on our solo stuff, and then there's one collective one that we're doing together, two collective ones, one that just we keep on rotating and just goes around. But there is a unified feeling of working with people, even though you're working on your own thing.
A lot of support, encouragement, and like,
it's
do
nice.
it, commit to glue it down. Commit. Some people will not glue it down. Some people will like, glue it down. You can't.
I'm just gonna take the pieces with me home.
Oh my god! Who wants to have a collage party in the office? It sounds great.
Do it.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Next image.
Nice, guys. Yes, definitely.
Did you take that or did I take that?
I took that.
I love this guy.
So
there we go. One each.
I love this guy.
So I actually just picked this image because this guy is just the coolest looking motherfucker around. Look at him. He's having the best fucking time. And that, plus, I'm not going to say he's like inspired by collage, but I mean, there's, you know,
trousers.
Those trousers. Like,
we had the privilege.
But
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, although I was going to say straight lines. Where's your straight lines, guys? Look at Joe. Although up there is pretty straight. Actually, that's pretty. How have you met? Are you sure you haven't pulled that image? Because that line there is going right up there. How come that is looking pretty straight?
No, it's straight here.
Why am I?
We're not
okay. Anyway, tell me the backstory of this.
Remember, we talked about this.
We were in Santa Fe, New Mexico, shooting a wedding for some New Yorkers, some folks that lived in Brooklyn. And again, you just get to know these people. And like we were there for the 3-day event, just hanging.
This is one where we shot together.
Yeah, and we went out, and their wedding venue was this hip, like redone old like roadside motel. And everybody just brought the outfits, and this guy specifically, there was a few, but like this guy specifically just had style. Like the welcome party, he was just styled out. And then all of a sudden,
such a presence. He's like 6'4".
Yeah, and just like
hilarious.
And we were staying in the hotel room next to him.
All day, right?
Yeah, he was just smoking joints like outside his room.
I think he's smoking a joint there, probably.
Yeah, he is.
Definitely.
He is.
Well, he's got a lighter in his hand as well as the bowl, which is hilarious.
And so he's just kicking it, smoking weed from the time he wakes up to the time he goes to bed. And we were staying next to him, so our room always smelled like pot. And I was just like winking at, like we just got into good conversations, and he was just so approachable and sweet. So I think this is maybe the groom passing him as we're cruising by and like just doing portraits or something. And I mean, come on, who's not going to snap that? Like he's it was such a it was a beautiful moment.
He's Allison's dad's bestie,
right?
His father's best friend.
Yeah. So another photographer might see this guy and pull him up and set him somewhere and take his photograph. Why didn't you do that approach? I balance things. Like I do, and I don't really I don't think about that in the moment. There are times when I'm just like, I want to get these people, and I want to like formal shot of someone. So I'm not afraid to go up to like groups of people and be like, hey, can I grab your picture really quick? I definitely do that at weddings. I don't put that stuff online, but I want to gift as many shots of their guests and family and people as I can. In this moment, it's a fleeting moment. The groom is walking, I'm walking.
and I want that movement and motion and kind of cinematic quality. And like this guy in particular didn't really give off bad faces. Like he just always sort of had a little grin on him. He was always high, so he was always just kind of happy. And it just worked, like in the moment, like just turning and shooting. And that's my preferred method and what I'm doing 90% of the time I'm at a wedding. But I'm not afraid to like say, hey, like, can I take your picture?
Yeah. I like a good portrait, but I think with moments like this, you're not just capturing this person, you're capturing his vibe. You know, and I feel like sometimes you don't get that with just a portrait.
For sure.
Doing a poser. So this is like the perfect, like how I described your work, candid.
Awesome.
Like this is that kind of vibe, and I love it for
Awesome.
that.
Thank you.
I think also, I mean, whenever I've thought in my head, oh, that person looks so good, I'm going to go get them later. That doesn't work. It never happens. Like just do it. Just take the picture. Just do it.
Take the picture. They're always never there.
You get more of a feel for what this wedding was probably like by looking at this image. Like, you can feel that relaxed roadside hotel, chill wedding.
Yeah, a lot of mezcal. But like, the way the groom's arm is hanging, like there's a relaxed, like just kind of swagger to the way he's moving too. And I don't know. Yeah, it was a very, very like chill and then rowdy party. Like, but everybody was like enjoying the tacos and mezcal kind of feel.
Yeah. I had a similar type character at a wedding recently, and I would always like shoot her when she was like doing something weird. And I thought, oh, they're really gonna like these kind of images, with the video clips rather. But then, you know, the day after the wedding, they were like, oh, so see this person, she got a little bit rowdy and she caused a bit of an issue. And I'm like, that's the person. It was the person. I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay, well, fine. She doesn't go in. Yeah. Like sometimes these kind of people are for positives at a wedding. Not a positive.
But you got to be careful with how much attention they get too, because they're peacocking, and there's something very attractive about continuously shooting people with great energy or with a great smile or a great dress or a great suit. And
it could just be the best man's hot flavor of the week, and like they're broken up next month. You know, you got
totally. And so how much it's really important to be cognizant of that and making sure you're divvying up the attention and spending just as much time trying to get great shots of people that aren't necessarily, fond of the camera or looking for it or,
hiding under the tables. You got to get them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, maybe you mentioned something there is that maybe that's why I enjoyed taking video clips, because she was trying to hide from me.
Yeah. Those are always wonderful.
So I'd almost made it into a game.
I do the same. I love that.
Yeah. And maybe that's like, obviously she was an issue, but maybe she felt like she wasn't supposed to be there. So she didn't want to be in the video. So that's why she was backing away. But that also entices me to take some video. Anyway. Next image.
Mike again.
Can you see this one?
Mike.
No! I swear, Mike, if this is all you. Hashtag fuck Mike. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Photos anymore.
Myself. I'll learn Instagram for that.
Oh, this one's clearly from Instagram because you've screenshotted it.
So clearly from Instagram. So the reason, obviously, I like this, like shapes in images and I mean the fact that it's black and white also plays nicely. But there's this lovely like sun flare circle thing that's going on right in the middle.
That's that Jesus light right there.
it's the Jesus light. But you've got it's just perfectly like center framed, and obviously this is a square aspect ratio for Instagram. So I don't know what the original image aspect ratio was, unless it was Unless this was like
I think it was wide, actually.
I think it's wide.
Okay. But just the fact that everyone's kind of here and just nicely, just, I don't know, everything kind of works nicely for this image for me. But sometimes these things can just be a happy accident. So tell me the story of this. Was it a happy accident, or did you do anything?
This particular camera always gives the most gorgeous halo when you point it at the sun, and depending on the angle that you have, will give you a bigger or a smaller one. And I just
what camera?
It's a little toy like plastic thing.
Called a Rito.
Yeah, it's like a $20 reloadable disposable with a wide lens. Like, it's just amazing. And yeah, those are just some of our go-tos.
I think a lot of wedding photographers would be like, hell no, I'm not shooting with that, because the images are it's plastic lens.
It's shitty.
It's shitty.
But it's delicious to us. Like,
it's one of my favorite cameras.
I absolutely love them. And yeah, our friend Sean turned them on to us like a couple of years ago, and we've been using them religiously. That is actually always in our bag. Like, definitely. So yeah, this happened to be like in Jamaica on the beach, and there was just like, they were lined up so perfectly, and I love that they fit with the ocean horizon and in the background. And I just knew it was like, I got far away, and I kept on going further and further and further back away from this ceremony, and it just looked better and better and better the further I got away. And yeah, just I snapped probably six or 8 images with like a few different cameras from this angle, and this one like just really hit. Like, this one really hit.
When I saw this image from his files when he opened it up, I screamed. I mean, I think this is one of my favorite photos of the whole entire wedding. It's just so beautiful. I love the way.
Thank you, Noel.
You're welcome. Yeah, the way the lights encompassing them, it's like they're being held by the sunbeams, just perfectly hugged during the ceremony, which is like just ceremonial. So I just think this is like such a special photo.
Yeah.
So did you just instantly go, separate folder, that's getting shared at some
I'm like,
point?
drag this baby down. And I cropped it for Instagram because I wanted it to be like, it's a very wide camera. It's like 17 millimeter,
22.
Like, it's really wide.
22.
It's really wide.
Yeah.
So I wanted to like really pull in the juicy.
Yeah.
That's an interesting shape on such a wide, like if you shot it on landscape, that's quite a wee tight circle there for such a wide frame.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is vertical.
I don't know.
I'll have to look at it again. But I might have a vertical and a wide or something, and she picked the vertical and cropped. But
it's nice. So you often see, or you used to see it done in portrait sessions. Usually golden hour, a photographer would have like this little pipe, and they'd place it right center of the lens. It would kind of look like a sun flare circle.
Yeah.
And so I always think of these type of round shapes to be for a portrait session or something like that. So to have it be this shape with something a little bit wider, and something as, as important as the actual ceremony, I thought, we
don't. I think we like have learned that like all of the big moments you're gonna get it. Like, there's always enough. At least we feel this way. You have like the timeline going. There's of course all the unexpected things that happen, but there's a preparedness for that unexpected. But what we've learned to do over the years is like just play with different looks and feels and different cameras that one might use usually just for portraits. Like, what does that look like on the dance floor? Like, what does that look like from, 20 feet away from the dance floor? What does it look like up in people's faces on the dance floor? And like at this ceremony, I was shooting expired film. I wasn't sure it was going to turn out or not, but it turned out fucking awesome. But like, I just took a risk. Like, I don't think we're afraid to really fuck up, because we just always learn so much from all of that. And there's always enough. There's always going to be, we hustle hard, and there's always going to be great shots and enough to give to the client. So with that, we play a lot.
Yeah, and not to say if we fuck up, it's okay. I think what he means more by that is it may not be like perfect in terms of what other people think a perfect photo should be like. It might be really grainy, or like the colors might be a little weird. But our clients know that about us, and they know what they're getting into, and they know that we're going to be experimenting. But again, that's why we're usually bringing like 4 or 5 film cameras. Like, I'm going to do one on the pretty lens, but I'm also going to bust out my $20 camera and probably love that one better. And then I get to use what I deliver at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But
we have our go-tos that thank you for qualifying that. Like, we know we got it on the good camera. We know we got like the thing, or the shot that's like needed or whatever.
This was the best one.
Yeah, this is
yeah.
You gotta play.
Yeah, and it's like with a ceremony, it's 20-30 minutes long. You've got the time to play there, get a good safe shot, and then play. Like, if someone's a bit more risk averse, get your safe shot and then play if you want. There's plenty of time. Yeah.
Speak for yourself. Usually during the ceremony, I'm like trying to pace out like where people are going to stand so I can actually get a shot of them.
Well, for people, it's a bit
that's another beast. Yeah. Dude, I'm killing it.
Mike's winning. I gotta go.
She's got.
Oh God! I swear, there's gonna be. Anyway, okay, so
it's all good. I love this.
I'm sorry, Chellise. Okay, so the reason I love this is because it's so. Well, the fact that it's obviously, you've said you don't like Photoshop. This is clearly not Photoshop. This is an in-camera film. You've wound it halfway and you've taken another snap, and it's, well, I'm hoping that's the case. But it's a very cool, like, 2 very different styles of image. Like, usually if you see like something like this.
Image here.
Oh shit!
Maybe
so there is.
Damn
you plant. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I didn't see that going. Oh, hello. Oh, nice.
A gift that keeps on giving.
Exactly. It just keeps on giving. I feel like I'm in the way now.
You're good.
Anyway, just very different styles of images, just in the one image, and I feel like it creates this really awesome vibe that just one image doesn't always give you, if you know what I mean. I feel like very much like this is a party image, which is strange because the couple over here aren't really doing anything party-esque. But I don't know, if I was going to be looking deep into an image, I'd be like, well, they're looking towards all the glasses being poured. You could maybe make up a little story of they're looking forward to the party. I'm getting too wanky now, but like, tell me first of all the house, and then
while Mike explains his art, can I use the restroom?
Yeah. Sure, go.
I need to
you got excused.
All right.
BRB.
So that it's a camera we've been using for like 12 years. It's a LC wide from Lomography. And I think we've each had like 4 of them throughout the years, 4 or 5 each. Wow. We just like use the hell out of them. That is typically something that is another piece that's in the bag. We started shooting receptions on them because we wanted this like mishmash of dance chaos. And what we would do, you have the ability to put in like behind the door of the camera a square little attachment, or a half frame attachment, or no attachment. And then on the bottom of the camera, you can set it to either shoot half frame or full frame. Yeah. And so we loved shooting this camera at half frame mode without any attachment in it. So the images just blend into one another. So it's not a double exposure, which it can do as well, but there's no real defining line between what frame is what. And we just work out with the lab how they scan it for us. And we've just been getting panoramic scans of it to be able to crop in the way that we want. And this one in particular just kind of came out. I don't even think this was before we were doing panoramic scans, but welcome back.
Hi.
This couple was so sweet. There was another one that they didn't go for the film package, but I'm like, I'm shooting a roll for them. I don't care. Like, I have to shoot a roll. Yeah. And I just shot a roll on this camera just this way to just kind of fuck it up and have like a really free, strange roll of film for them. This is, on the left side of them, just in the getting ready suite at the hotel they were at, just pouring champagne for everyone. And I love, like, again, I said I usually was using this like 10 years ago till about 6 years ago, only at receptions. And then I started using it throughout the day as this, like, pick it up when you feel it. And going from getting ready of pouring champagne and then into like, this is just family photos. They're like lining up to go take family photos. And I just snapped one. I didn't know what I shot last. It just kind of happens. And I can't call it a happy accident. I guess it is, but it's a feeling. You just like pick up the tool when it's calling you. And use that. And it ended up just making a really interesting combination there. And like, you'll usually get, some great stuff. Sometimes you have to crop just one of the images and like only one of them works out. And then sometimes these mashups are insanity. Yeah.
Especially now. Especially
I was wondering like how much thought went into
it. In the Pano scan, you get a lot more to play with and get to like really choose how it lays out. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. I was just having a look at the camera here. For anyone who's interested in trying something like this out, it's the Lomo LC wide 35mm film camera, and it's about £350.
Yeah.
Just in case you're wanting to try out something new.
Yeah, and just be prepared to buy one every year.
Yeah.
Day break.
I feel like we need a drum roll for this next one.
Ooh.
Fingers crossed.
I can't. It's going to be Mike.
He's got chops.
It's going to be Mike.
Chellise!
Oh my God!
Yes!
All right.
Yes. Now, this is actually my favorite.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Mike. No, I'm kidding. So the reason I love this image is because I have a very fond memory of being at a wedding and realizing why don't I just push a couple into a bush and take them for a
speaking her language.
I love
as absolute madness as that is, you and for our listeners who might think, oh yeah, right enough, he has talked a lot about pushing couples into bushes and stuff. Like
physically,
this is like the perfect image for that, because you've got obviously the lovely subtle pinks of the tree, some hands in the back of his neck, a very different style of shirt, cutting kind of like that perfect third. But you don't see any faces, you don't see anything like that. It's a very much almost like a wild escape type image. But yeah, so tell me, Chellise, what's Your thoughts
It's like Andy
here?
Goldsworthy in love.
Yeah, it's like a very, to me, I mean, this is a really sexy kind of thing too. It's like, what's going on? These guys are totally going at it in the bushes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an engagement shoot, portrait session. And when I see bushes,
You start to pushing.
when I see bushes, I start pushing. Yeah, like these things were just blooming and flowers, and they smelled so good. It was in like a church parking lot or something, and
oh, that makes it even better.
I mean, honestly, me and these two, we'd already downed a bottle of wine. We were having a really good time. I really adore these two, and I've hung with them since, and just I can't get enough of them. But they're lovely people, and they were just down for whatever. You know, when you feel that energy of people being down and to do whatever, you kind of like start catching that, like, oh, I could like tell them to do anything and they'll do it. And that's kind of what goes through my mind is like, how far can I go? And to me, portrait sessions are like, yeah, it's about the couple and having a good time and connecting. But if I want to create some like artsy weird shit, this is when I get to do it. And we have no constraints of time. And yeah, so I really just wanted to focus more on, you know, there's a pulled back version of this image where he's holding her up, her legs are wrapped around his waist, like he's carrying her. And so I've got different perspectives of it, and they're all just gorgeous. But I like this one because it's cropped in mysteriously just about like this feeling that they're having. And it's a little like, there's a lot of beauty in it because of the nature. And it just feels more like a little, like to me, a art piece versus like a romantic engagement photo. You know, it's something a little more like avant-garde in terms of a photo of love.
It's avant-garde, but it has such a humor to me as well. Like that, and
it's very playful.
It's light and playful.
Yeah.
Without being like pretentious. It's just,
Yeah, I think I like that as well when you're trying to create an image like this, because it is quite possible that the couple might look at you and go, what?
Yeah.
Like, why do you want us in the bush? And you're like, you just have to work with me. Just, it's fine. It's like, let's try it. Get in the bush. There's also humor in the creation part of it for couples who maybe hadn't thought about those sorts of like almost abstract type images.
Yeah, no, there's couples I would never consider putting in a bush. And there's people like,
you got to make a call.
By the first 10 minutes, I'm like, I'm going to be able to stick them in a bush later. This is going to happen.
It's
really fun though.
I do remember doing like pushing a couple into a bush, but I did it like for portraits. And honestly, I remember the groom, it wasn't really that type of wedding. It was quite, I don't know how to describe it, but the groom was just like, what are we doing? What? Yeah. Why am I getting pushed into a bush?
You had to like actually tell him further back. Honestly,
I was like pushing him right into the bush, and then I was like, okay, now look stoic, or I can't remember. It was quite like a stoic kind of image, and just the juxtaposition of like the color mixed with his tone of like his face. Yeah, he actually really liked it in the film, and I was like, yeah, this works for some reason, but you don't think it would work. But yeah.
Well,
fucking bushes, man. Yeah. Was that it? Was that it? That was it. Okay, good. All right. But definitely, listeners, go check out their Instagram because it's fucking full. It's full of amazing, very creative images. I have spent a long time. Very hard to get those down, by the way, to just 5. I can't remember. Very difficult.
So in closing out, last couple of questions. What one piece of advice would you give someone who's just starting on their wedding photography journey? Like you've been through it all.
And not get an amber.
Yeah, we need something else.
Something else.
I would say that to not get lost in comparison. the less time you can spend obsessing about a photographer who's been doing this for 15 years and is just like has their thing, and more about like letting go of all that noise that would influence you too much, and to just go do your thing, and post images that have nothing to do with what you think Instagram is going to like and like what you like, I think is really, I feel like that's when I had a turning point, is when I was like, God, I'm just like spending hours on this photographer's website, just like dissecting it and trying to figure, why am I not this good yet? And then just kind of like had a moment where I was like noticing how much it was eating me creatively and not letting me like allowing me to be myself. So once I stopped obsessing over other photographers is when I feel like I started to grow my own voice. And
I'm curious if it takes that though in the beginning. Like there's a level of mimicking that might be important, and a level of approaching it in ways that feel comfortable because somebody else has already tread that path. And then having your own wake up call to like just stop the noise. And like I do remember specifically, we both had it around the same time, just we stopped looking at others' work and just started looking at our own and seeing what really mattered to us in the images and how they made us feel. And
it's like, what if we did it this way though? Or
and then the influences outside of photography become very important. And like, what movies or books are you reading, and what records are you listening to, and what TV shows are you into? Like it, and that I love what our friend Cy Moore says, is just like getting a good creative diet of putting in like things that you would want to digest and like make your body feel good. But if you're creatively doing that and sorting out like, the shit from the inspiring, in a way that like you're putting in the inspiring things or things that like move you. I think it does have an effect on your work and like how you see the world. There's almost, I'm curious if there is a need or a necessity to do the thing at first, do the mimicking, and figure out what kind of like those tones or feels or processes are doing to you and informing you. And then you just got to figure out the time that's ripe to let it all go and trust yourself.
Yeah. I think you're right. Like there definitely could be something to that you have to go through that process of getting like taking in too much info, but maybe people go too far with that. And if they hear this piece of advice, they could stop earlier when it suits better.
And it's different for everyone, I feel. But you gotta. Maybe the advice is learning how to listen to that voice of what feels like too much and what feels like overkill. Because it's a hard thing to jump. Get there.
It is. And I remember when we were going to weddings and just shooting the shots just to get the list, like very early on in the career. And I'm writing a blog at the moment about my realization came from something so silly, a very small piece of advice, as small as like expose for the highlights, create shapes, like something else. It just something clicked in my brain, and I remember just the relief of I can actually create what I want to create instead of trying to mimic for the market or anything like this.
So it was like
it is a great piece
you're
of
saying
advice.
Like a technical piece of advice that you got that like informed and almost was a key to opening a door of creative freedom.
Yeah,
that's incredible. I totally feel that.
It just because I suppose I wasn't expecting it to have that effect on me. And it was just like, oh yeah, of course. And then, you know, you start thinking about shapes and, you know, abstracting things. And that's where I discovered my love of like mirrors and making things, hiding things instead of showing things all the time, you know, like, so yeah, you can find inspiration anywhere, man. I did not expect it. So,
and speaking of which, like you mentioned the creative diet, like what is in your creative diet right now? What band, what movie, what books would you recommend to people? I'm asking for everything here.
I like
what piece of food.
I love. I'm reading James Hillman right now. He's like a Jungian psychoanalyst, passed in like, I don't know, mid-aughts or something. But yeah, he's just a badass, and wrote a book on kind of rethinking psychology and how we approach it. So that's, I don't know, I love like the depths of the mind and invisible stuff.
Yeah. When it comes to like visual diet or, you know, outside of weddings that I feel like are currently impact or like get me excited, or I always mess up pronouncing Dinah. We follow her.
Levitsky or
Dinah Levitsky, I think. She's like a Nat Geo / New York Times, and she does a lot of assignment work. Strange Victory is the Instagram of another guy. These are just photographers that do a lot of documentary work or assignments, and they use a lot of like flash shot from like at your knee shooting up at people and like getting these crazy shadows.
What's her newsletter called? Into the Flash?
Into the Flash. Yeah, she has a great newsletter.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Like, I'm really interested. I like following along stuff like that of like different ways of manipulating light, and just that was very unexpected and wouldn't be thought of at a wedding, and playing with that too. And Jimmy Marble's always been one of my favorite photographers. I mean, for a decade, he's a commercial photographer out in LA, and just, I think he's always got me excited about color in a way, and like seeing patterns and like that geometric thought that comes out in collages, and seeing that in images is like shooting through things. I've always like just really admired his work. Such different perspectives, like, and it's definitely impacted us, and like dropping down super low for a portrait, like literally 2 feet high and getting like really tall on people, which is an angle that a lot of people would be like, that's not a good angle, a pretty angle, like it's, you know, coming from the top would be, but it's just interesting. And, you know, keeping that mantra, Dan O'Day, you're familiar with Dan O'Day, right? Back in the day, we did a workshop with him and overheard him teaching. And I had this mantra of one for me, one for you, or two for me, one for whatever.
You turned it into two for me.
I think
one,
I turned
one for you,
one for you, two for me.
But he was one for you, one for me.
Yeah, and I'm like, one for you, two for me. But, you know, like that really also, I think, is an important thing for any photographer to do, no matter what you're in, is like, okay, this is the safe shot. Cool, I got it. But like, let's fuck around and find out if I did it this way. And then like, that's what I'm going to post, because it gets me more excited. So kind of keeping that always is, I think, an important part of our work, that I feel like that we got continuously doing it. Again, that's the little rebel in us. Rebel?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the rebel in us. It's like, I want to try this and see what happens. And I will say that to my clients. I'm like, I'm putting you in a bush because I want to try it. It's just trust me. Just go into the bush. Be with nature. And you know, this one's for me. I think like when it comes to visual inspiration, Wong Kar-wai had a big impact on us for sure. Just with like permission to go with color, even if it's just on the skin, and not try to fix it.
Yeah, a lot of street photographers in New York, like stuff. Yeah, of course, Daniel Arnold, Trevor Wisecup, and taking that approach to weddings where you do have permission to shoot like that is so free.
Yeah.
It is so amazing to just like be like, fuck you, and like
standing up in people's faces.
You're supposed to.
It's fun.
Like,
it's fun to like. It's fun to
Yeah.
mess with people and have a good time with them at weddings, and I'll put all kinds of people in bushes. I want to do a family photo in bushes.
Yeah.
I need to find a big hydrangea bush.
I was gonna say that's one hell of a bush you need to find. Bloody hell. Yeah, cracking. All those, I mean, so many names I hadn't heard of. So thank you. I'll be delving into those resources, having a look at other people's work. I mean, Jimmy Marble, I can definitely see he has inspired your work. But yeah, cool. Thank you for joining us. Oh my God, we're 2 hours and 20 minutes. Is that right? Oh my God, probably. Oh my God. Where can people find you online if they want to check out your work?
Hold on. www.
So good.
ChelliseMichealphotography.com. That's CHELLISE. And you look up Chellise.
You just type in Chellise,
find it,
and it'll just come up. So I think I'm the only Chellise photographer ever.
Yeah. Instagram and that's that.
Instagram, and that collage site is Taste Like Glue, because that's what they taste like if you were to eat one of our collages.
Very tasty. Very tasty. Listeners, definitely hit us up if you want a collage party. That sounds great. We might need to buy some magazines though, Greg.
And you too, let us know if you're in New York anytime. We'd love to hang. Love it. Love. Get you up here for a collage party.
Sounds great. Yeah, and likewise, obviously, if you're ever in Scotland. There's tons of whiskey over here. You know, I don't want to sell it too hard, but we're known for our whiskey.
What kind of bushes you guys have over there, though?
Oh, tons of bushes. They're usually very. I can't. I stopped myself on an innuendo. Great times. People can find us at perspectivebycinemate.com. On our Instagram, it's at perspectivebycinemate. YouTube, all that kind of good stuff. Thank you to With Jack for sponsoring this episode. And if you have loved this conversation, you can hit subscribe on our YouTube or wherever you get podcasts, and we'll hope to see you in the next episode. However,
in the meantime,
enjoy your life.